CFF presents 1% Better, a podcast about
CrossFit, nutrition, coaching, mindset, and community.
Join us as we embark in casual conversation to shed light on what life is like within these black and yellow walls. With episodes coming at you every Monday, you can follow along with Coach Whitney and Taryn as we talk shop about all things CFF. Episode 70.
Yeah.
We're almost at 100. That's what I'm going to say for the next
we're not.
30 episodes. We're almost at 100. Hey,
Did you believe we'd get this far?
Listen, here's something cool that happened this week. I got a message on our Facebook page from a listener all the way in California who is interning at a CrossFit gym down there and listens to our podcast. So I'm just going to start this episode by giving a shout out to that listener because I think that is amazing.
I feel like we should find her name.
That our reach goes that far, that somebody that is uninvolved in CrossFit Function is totally interested in what we have to talk about. So I think that's super, super cool.
Aside from my mom.
So to that listener out in California, you rock. Thanks for sending me that message and making me feel like $1 million.
You didn't get her name.
Just her Instagram handle, but I'm not going to share that just in case she wants to keep her profile private.
Shout out to her. No.
She knows who she is.
Yes. Yeah.
So today, episode 70, we're turning it to one of our clients to bring on for just a little spotlight episode. We're welcoming Darrell Zimmer on.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is the behind the scenes of the 1% Better podcast.
Is it all you thought it was?
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not.
Thought the studio was a bit bigger
And more
Fancier.
professional.
We'd offer you free coffee.
Well, actually, you technically did.
Technically, that's true. Technically, we did. Let's start with the basic question. What brought you to CrossFit Function?
Well, it's just kind of at a different gym in town, and I kind of started with the group training there and wasn't really seeing results. So I kind of switched to just doing my own thing and kind of went even worse, kind of in the other direction. And we had brought the football girls to the old gym a few times working out with Taryn.
Oh yeah,
So it's kind of and I've known Mark ever since I've been in Saskatchewan pretty well. So I was like, well, give it a try kind of thing. And I don't know, kind of fell in love with it, I guess.
Next thing you know, you're here.
Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm on your podcast.
What made you fall in love with it? What was it about it that made this the right choice for you?
I think it kind of originally it kind of tied into my deeper part of my competitiveness, internal competitiveness. It's hard to explain, but I'm inward competitive, so it's nice to see okay, there's a person beside me, let's try and beat them a little bit. And then as time went on, it kind of became kind of like a family kind of thing, right?
The community part of it.
Yeah. That's
usually the hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. What keeps you coming?
Nothing better to do.
At least he's honest.
Set you up for that one, man, to be like the community, but no, okay.
Definitely the community. The workouts, big thing too. It's always every day, there's no two workouts pretty well. They're the same kind of thing, and the community is a big thing. If it wasn't for the community, well, that's the really big thing.
When you say that what you were doing before wasn't giving you results, what sort of things have you experienced here in that regard that is different?
Just around the group aspect or whatever. Heavier weights, we're allowed to lift heavier weights. If there's something at my old gym or whatever, if there's something that we couldn't do, if you couldn't still do the movement with a lower weight, you're basically SOL kind of thing. Or here, the coaches you could have 10 different people doing 10 different movements, still hitting the same kind of thing, and you make it work.
Have you experienced that where you've had to do something different than what the group has been doing?
Yeah, like I've been struggling a little bit with my ankle a little bit. And I remember one class Whitney got me a bike or whatever instead of skipping, and in the middle of a workout, or well, she yelled at me to tell her to get a bike in the middle of it. In the past, she's done that. Or what was the one that I did the other day? The calf raises. Instead of doing the calf raises off the plate, I sat on the ground and just did stretches with the toes or whatever.
Working through the same range of motion.
Yeah,
cool.
Work through the same range of motion, but just take the weight off of it.
Scaling stuff is always hard. Not like scaling, modifying things are always like mentally hard. So that's good that you've been in those positions where like the coach has been able to give you other things to still involve you with what is going on. That's like the premise of modifying movements.
How have, and I know that's a hard thing to deal with. How have you talked yourself through that process? Because you've had to do it a few times.
Yeah.
Just with an odd thing here and there. And I know it's not easy.
Usually it kind of goes, I try to go as far as I can, and then somebody gives me shit. And then finally, then you check your ego kind of thing and try and listen.
Do you feel like you're better for it when you listen?
Yeah.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
Totally hard. Speaking of hard things, what has been your biggest challenge at the gym?
Biggest challenge.
Whether you've overcome it or not, something that's just been hard for you.
I think just like some days, like you wake up in the morning, some days you don't feel it kind of thing. Like you don't feel like getting out of bed, you don't feel like doing anything, and it's just to fight through that hey, let's put one foot on the floor and get out the freaking door and go see my people. And
is that what helps you like get through that?
Yeah.
It's just knowing that there's people here that are going to help bring that best hour of your day type of thing.
100% for sure.
Yeah.
And you are like super successful at that because you have rocked our 12 plus workouts every month for 2021, which is awesome.
Yeah, committed club rock star.
So although that seems like a challenge, you do a really great job of putting those feet on the floor in the morning and getting here. Or you might not make it in the morning and you'll show up at night and you'll just make it work for you.
Well, and that kind of comes back to a little bit of the FOMO kind of thing, right? Kind of half it like gets to 3:30 in the afternoon and go, damn it, sign in. Or give a quick text, is there room in the class?
When all of your friends are talking about it and you see it and it's like,
peer pressure. Peer pressure, but in like a positive way.
What's been the most rewarding thing for you?
I think probably.
This is a big question. You can have multiple answers.
I think tying back into my competitive side or whatever, like the beatdown, that was 100% like partnering with Michelle on that. I don't know, that was probably the best weekend I've had in a long fucking time.
Is there a particular highlight from the beatdown that like stands out for you that made it that most rewarding thing you've ever done? Or I think
the end of event 5, so the last event kind of before the finals, and
that was the log one, I think, right?
The run and the dumbbell snatch.
All that synchro stuff.
I've told Michelle a number of times, talked to her about it, talked to a few people about it, but I don't remember any of the last part of the snatches and lunges. The only thing I remember is looking to my left once, and Tomas was beside me yelling, and I think we were on like the second last interval or something like that. And he just and I'm like, I met this guy 2 days ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't even know him.
Like we did the Zoom call or whatever, and then like the Friday night kind of thing or Friday afternoon when we were cleaning stuff, and it was like, and this guy from Chile or whatever is yelling at me, and I don't know, he could have been yelling Spanish, I don't know.
But he was yelling.
Yeah. And then we crossed the finish line, and I stand up and I'm probably about to fall over, and Greg's there, and he catches.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And catch me, pause me. We were there for. I swear the buzzer's going for the next heat to go.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think you guys were in the way.
Yeah.
I honestly think you were in the way.
And Greg kind of like hauls me off, carries me to the tent basically, and so that kind of is like the family kind of thing. Like when you needed it the most, kind of like you push through to finish for your partner, and because I was like, I have to finish for Michelle, and then you get to the end, and there's somebody else that you're competing against, and they're there to catch you, and they're there. We're fighting with them for a place in the finale.
That's right.
And then Greg is the first person to come over. Greg and Zane are the first people to come over, congratulate me and Michelle on making it in. I'm pretty sure I cried. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. You do it for me.
We forfeit.
Yeah.
God, please.
But
I would say one of my favorite moments is you getting your first pull-up in the open, in your first
Yeah.
open. That was a big highlight for me. And it feels like forever ago.
It does
But
feel
it
like
was
forever.
just last
Yeah.
year, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was super, super fun to watch that.
And that was something that we worked on for
We
a
worked,
long
yeah,
time.
and it was like well earned. Like it wasn't one of those fluke moments because you had put in the time and the hard work to get that, and for it to pay off in that moment, it was. Selfishly, I was judging somebody else, and I could
Yeah.
I was trying to watch, and everybody's like uproar, and I was like, I missed it. So I repositioned so I could see a few more of them, but yeah, that was awesome. I think that was really good.
Are you excited for the Open this year?
100%, yeah.
What are your
Excited.
goals for the Open this year?
I want to I want to sign up for with HQ, and I want to do 100% of the scaled.
Okay, yeah, without further.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's
That was my goal one
Honestly,
year,
yeah.
trying to finish the scaled
The
workouts.
scaled workouts are harder than the RX workouts. Like, I'm just gonna put
Yeah.
that out there.
They are freaking hard. Good on you. Like
that's
that's a challenge in and of itself. Yeah. Good. That's awesome. Good for you. That'll be fun.
I think one of the moments that you're involved in the last year that kind of sticks out was our 5K run event last May.
Which
I
we
did
now
not come to my mind.
which we now
Yeah.
call Daryl's run. We were talking about it
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
night.
It's actually written in our annual plan that in May,
May
like
it's
this is
happening.
the
Yeah.
community event focus that we have. So tell us a little bit about that, what that means to you, why you chose it, you know, how that all kind of came about.
So the run is for a nonprofit company. I don't should say company, nonprofit out of Florida. They're a multinational company called To Write Love on Our Arms. And what their goal is to provide help and hope for people suffering from mental illness, addictions, suicide, and self-harm. Why this ties to me is I've had some issues with both depression and anxiety. And these people, I've talked to them a number of times. They've helped me through some pretty bad stuff. And good place now, but I want to give back to them. Like
Awesome.
the amount of people that I know they help every year, and like, oh, it's
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And especially the give back part,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us about the actual event.
So this they call it the Run For It 5K. I think it might be their top fundraiser for the year. They've got a couple fundraisers, but I think this is their top one. They do a 5K. In years past, they've done a in-person one in Melbourne, Florida, which I've wanted to go to a few times, but COVID kind of shut that down. And then they do a Sally run, which is what we did last year. And you make a pledge, you get a t-shirt, you can get a medal, whatever you want. and all the money goes back into helping further their mission, right? You just run 5K
and so last year you sent me a message like, hey, I'm gonna do this, or I think you started fundraising or something, and then we started this conversation.
I think like I put it on Facebook, hey, this is what I'm doing again, kind of thing. Last year was my 3rd year in a row doing it. I've had a couple friends do it with me in the past, but not a big thing. So I was just like, put it on my own Facebook, and then I think like 30 seconds later, Taryn like put on there, hey, bring this to the group. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And then it posted on there, and it just blew up.
It blew up.
Yeah, which is just another like, exemplary of like how our community just like pulls for one another,
And I think it was the first time that we got to feel like a community in the last year and a half. So it was amazing.
It was extra special because of that.
And a lot of new people had joined the gym, so they didn't know what it felt like to be part of our community. So you offering to get us involved in that and giving us the platform to bring people together to not only support such a great cause, because like there are many members who struggle with mental health stuff. That was just awesome. So good. And like Taryn said, it's in our annual plan. It will stay in our annual plan as something we will continue to do.
We gathered that day, and it was just so cool to see. I think I counted, and there was like 60 people or something there that day. And here we are running around our little neighborhood.
And even non-members, like members who brought friends to participate, like, and their kids,
and the dogs. Tucker ran the whole 5K. Let's just give him a shout out here.
I think Bowser ran about 3 of the 5K.
And then
I carried him. His little legs, I should have put my Fitbit on him and counted his steps.
And like people were talking about it at the end, like looking forward to next year. Like they raved about it. So I'm glad that we have that planned.
Yeah, I'm excited for this May when that comes around.
Are you going to take off to do it in Florida?
I'd like to one day, but definitely not this year. But,
Exactly.
The armpit of COVID.
We want you there. That's awesome. People who inspire you to show up and do the hard work every day. Who do you got?
I know she's gonna hate me for it, but Dana, big time Dana.
Yeah.
She's been a phenomenal friend to me over the last year, kind of thing. And I think it's kind of like we started talking kind of before the open last year, kind of thing, and she's grown into probably one of my favorite people now.
Awesome.
And kind of the same thing where we always joke about she's gonna be mad. We always joke that we're kind of like the same person kind of thing in a lot of ways. And
I can see that.
And
it's nice to have that person, right?
Yeah.
To like when it's like 5:30 in the morning and you don't want to come and you send that text and they make you get out of bed to show up. It's nice to have that person. And I just kind of paired you up and Scott up with somebody else to be that person now for somebody else. And I think that's so cool. Anybody else who has influenced your journey here so far?
Well, not here anymore, I guess, but Javin, big time. I think that was kind of the same thing. Like you kind of paired us up together shortly after I started, and like so many people. You just go down the list and say everybody in the 6 a.m. kind of thing. Michelle, Marcy, Amy, like just
everybody's played a role. That's so much. And I think that we all can like echo that. Even myself too. Everybody plays their role and for each other. That's such a cool aspect of the community like that.
Biggest thing you've learned since being here?
Biggest thing I learned
about yourself or just in general?
I don't know.
Didn't tell you about this question.
We should have gave you.
I gave him a few questions. I did. I'm not gonna lie. He asked.
I asked him. I don't know.
It is a hard question.
you just show up and give it your best, good things happen, kind of thing. Good things
That's a good
happen.
one. I like that. I'll take that.
Were you intimidated to come in the door for the first time?
100% yes.
Why?
Well, I think you could probably ask everybody, and it probably has the same answer. You see, when you hear CrossFit, you see the stuff on YouTube, you see the game stuff, you see all the Instagram posts of these people with super fit, rock hard abs, and like you're like, that's not me, that's not who I am, kind of thing. And you're like, it's just intimidating, I guess, at first, kind of thing. You don't see the family side of it, you don't see the scaling of it, you don't see
how did your interpretation change in the first early days?
Like it was, I think, still in foundations kind of thing. Came in, I can't remember if it was my third or fourth class. I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and there was a schedule mix up, and me and Brooke showed both up at 6 a.m. and I'm like, well, whatever, I'll wait the half an hour or whatever. And we were like, no, jump in with us or whatever, and we'll do it now all together. And so that's when you.
Or your dual foundation session.
But it was like not planned. It was just this last
just
minute thing because they were both there, and it's like, oh well, let's just do it together. You're on the same day. And Brooke talked about that being a pivotal point for her too. Just the fact that you two ended up together and you had a buddy to kind of start the venture or your adventure with us. That was a good moment.
I came to the fifth. We were there, and they were like, well, next class, let's do it together.
Yeah, and you just kept buddying up for the rest of the time. Yeah, it was good. It was really
what would
good.
you say to somebody on the outside right now that is maybe feeling that way on the fence about taking that first step?
Just come in the door, just do it, just give it a try. There's nothing to lose by trying. If you come in and you like it, I know you will. If you come in and you don't, whatever, at least you gave it the opportunity, kind of thing. And
if you could tell yourself one thing, like yourself back then, if your now self could tell your then self that one thing, what would that one thing be?
Start earlier.
Ooh, shit.
That's a common one too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like I said that to myself too.
Right?
You know, I'm like, man, if I would have found this when I was a teenager playing basketball, my game would have been phenomenal.
Or even just the confidence change. And we have seen such a huge confidence change in you since the very beginning to now. And if we as a human population could only find something like this sooner, maybe the world would be a better place. Have you noticed CrossFit helping you in your life outside the gym?
Maybe your work or maybe some other hobbies that you might have?
I think hard to say with baseball because I really haven't done any baseball since I started here. Hockey, I want to say I'm a stronger skater, but it's hard to tell in hockey because we do so much four-man where you're not really moving a lot.
But what about like endurance wise?
It's kind of the same thing. Like it doesn't.
Just so much standing.
Yeah.
Okay.
A workout's harder than wrestling.
A million times.
But I'll echo that too.
Let's see. Like at work, like lifting. Like I don't lift anything super heavy at work, but the stuff I do lift, I feel like it's getting lighter. The stairs at work. Like we have a big staircase at work. And sometimes it sucks to climb it after a workout, but it's not from not get winded going up the stairs anymore, kind of thing.
That's the important stuff, hey? That's the quality of life stuff. Awesome.
Like your knees, maybe you're like, oh god, damn it, my knees.
Almost the other day. In terms of your mental health, has being part of this community and even just the amount that you're working out, has that helped?
I think so, yeah. it kind of comes back to community. It's you have somebody to talk to, people to talk to, kind of thing. If, like you say, if you're having a shit day, kind of thing, or you have somebody to talk to and that can help you, kind of thing, and they're willing to. We were kind of before, I was like, well, don't have a couple close friends, but that's kind of it, kind of thing. Where
and just the physical out. Like the way that the workout enables you to put your physical effort into that to sometimes just like use that as a stress relief.
Like I remember it
like keeps your mind busy that way, right?
I remember there's one day, I can't remember what had happened, but it came in and we had DT, and I had a really shitty day at work, and just kind of stuff was kind of unraveling, and came in, and that workout was just, you grab some heavy weight and you just fricking go. And it was perfect for in that moment, exactly what a guy needed, kind of thing.
I used to use Grace to deal with my issues. I know. I mean, I would load that sucker up heavy. Like I would barely, when I had to do it at 95, that was like when it was a really bad day. But if I was having just like a brutal day, I would put like 155 on that bar and just hammer through 30 reps. One day I did 185, and that I think I sat on the sidewalk outside of the gym just like bawling for the next hour.
But you didn't know why you were bawling, if it was because of the workout or because
just
of the shit.
That type of workout is it's cathartic, right? Like going through that type of physical stressor to just deplete your mind, that whatever you're going through isn't actually as hard as what you physically just went through voluntarily.
That's
I was there, and from another standpoint, not just the lifting and weight, DT is my favorite workout. 100%.
Mine too.
Bar none.
Top 5.
That's okay. Aside from your open goal this year, what other big goals do you have for yourself?
The weekend before the open, there's a group of us going up to Saskatoon, into the Cast Iron Classic. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Don't know what to expect, kind of thing. I've seen some pictures or whatever, and they had a flip slide kind of thing like they had in the Wadapalooza here. I saw one. They had one score sheet I saw that was thrusters and bike. I'm like, oh, I'll do the bike, not the thrusters. And past that, I had some things change in my summer. We're now going to be going to Red Deer to compete in a couple Spartans. Awesome. What I wanted to do last year, but just the dates didn't work. And by the sounds of it, there's going to be a few of us going from the gym together, kind of carpooling out.
Cool.
And I'd like to go to Swift again and do the Beaver Flat race again. I'd like to go do a different distance. I've done the 5K a couple times, and go kind of at least the 10K kind of thing. And
nice. So going to be a big year for you.
Yeah. Big fitnessing year.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Any other questions you got for him?
No, I feel like that's it.
Yeah.
I feel satisfied. All my questions answered.
Okay. So just like we always do for our listeners, if you have other questions for Darrell that maybe we didn't cover today, feel free to email them, text us, message us. You know how to get a hold of us, and we will pass them on to Darrell. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
Episode 70, Hanging with Darrell.